We're down to just a few days as a 14-team SEC.
Oh.
July for next week, as we record now, as we talk to you now, Monday, Texas and Oklahoma join the SEC. I'm Brad Law. He's Zach Blackerby. It's a brand new Village Vice. And Zach, we're still in list season.
Sure.
Lists are fun. We're going to do a little engagement farming today. So I hope everybody's ready.
Okay.
A list that I thought was kind of fun was as Texas and Oklahoma get set to join the SEC. I want to rank 1 through 16 the top Big Three collective programs in the league. Or I want to rank the teams 1 through 16 based on football, men's basketball, and baseball.
Got it.
Understanding that I hate that we have to do this little disclaimer, but you do. Understanding that at some schools, women's basketball absolutely is in the Big Three. At some schools, softball may be included in the Big Three.
Sure.
But let's just kind of calm the waters and just say, for the purposes of this exercise, we're talking football, men's basketball, and baseball.
Got it.
Okay. And this is sort of as they are right now. This is not a 2023
we got it. Let's jump
season.
In. We got it.
Right.
We got it. You're good.
Right.
No more disclaimers needed. Let's go.
Very good. All right.
I'm anxious. I don't know what this list is. So
you didn't put together this list at all. Who would you say then off the top of your head, just thinking about it, would be the top program in the SEC?
When you're combining all three, Tennessee has to be up there.
I've got Tennessee as my number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
You're coming off a baseball national championship. Basketball was at the top of the league in the regular season, and football won 9 games a year after winning 10. Like they're on good footing in football, really good footing in basketball, and outstanding footing in baseball.
Yep.
So we agree there.
Okay.
Now who's 2?
Probably Bama. Alabama's probably 2.
You're doing good. You're doing really good at this. Yeah, they were tied for second in basketball.
Okay.
Football made the playoff and lost to Michigan. And then men's basketball obviously made the Final Four. Baseball made a regional.
Right.
All right. 3.
Texas.
This is crazy.
Really?
We're in total agreement on this so far.
Okay.
So Texas made the playoff in football.
Yep.
Men's basketball, they actually didn't fare as well. They're 9-9 in the league. I think their basketball coach, if he doesn't have a 500 or better year in the SEC, they could be looking. And then in baseball, Texas was 20-10. They were 3rd in the Big 10 or Big 12 in baseball. So I've got them at 3.
Okay.
Can we go 4 for 4?
I know what my 4 is. I'm thinking through as you're kind of talking. I don't think you're going to put them at 4, though.
Okay.
But I'm going to say Kentucky.
Oh, no. I've got them further down than 4. Okay. But I want to hear your explanation.
Are you weighting football heavier than the other 2?
Well, should we? That's one of the great questions. I think you probably should. It's the revenue driver for all of these schools.
You don't have the other sports if it's not for football.
Yeah.
The reason I'm thinking is Kentucky. I mean, obviously new coach with Calipari leaving, but everything Pope has done since he's been there, like they're excited and they're set up to succeed. Their off years are still extremely competitive in the SEC, and they can't win in the tournament, so they went and got a guy who hypothetically can help them do that.
Yeah.
They had a great season with baseball. They made it to Omaha, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then football, they've been solid. They've been steady. So that was my thought process.
Okay. I've got Georgia at 4, just because of the footing right now for football. They are going into the season for about a 3rd or 4th straight year. They're the best team in the league going into the season.
Yeah. If you're weighing football more, sure. 100%.
Yeah.
If you're weighing all 3 sports equally, I don't think Georgia is 4.
Then they're not 4. Yeah, if you weigh me, I agree. And
Okay.
by the way, that's why I love lists, because it is. I love the discussion. I love the dynamic with our audience. Villagers love to get in on it too. Do you weight them? Do you weigh them differently? Who do you have in these top spots?
Yeah.
Georgia, for their baseball team, made the postseason.
Sure.
Basketball is the most questionable of the three. Even with Mike White there, I think they were 6-12 in the league, and I don't know how much. I don't know that they can.
There's no buzz. There's no buzz around their program, which isn't everything, but usually in basketball, it's usually pretty telling. So we'll see.
But because football is so steady and sturdy and strong, that's why I've got them at 4.
Sure.
So you've got Kentucky at 4.
Let's do one more. Let's do one more, then we'll give some love to Roback.
All right. Who do you have 5?
It's not Kentucky.
No, my 5 is not Kentucky.
So all of the ones that are coming to mind now are good at the other stuff and not good at football.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
With the exception of my number 8. My number 8's pretty good at football, but not the others.
So I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, so we're not just like sitting here. I mean, Oklahoma is coming to mind. Auburn is coming to mind. I know they didn't have a good year in baseball, but I don't think anybody's expecting Auburn to not get back to where they were under Butch Thompson. And then football's trending up. Seems a little high, though, just because, I don't think we're quite there yet. I'll say Oklahoma. I'm not super fired up about that answer, though.
All right. I have Texas A&M at 5.
Just lost their football coach, just lost their baseball coach.
Yeah.
And their basketball coach is solid.
Yeah. And
I thought about A&M, but it's like, I'd rather be Oklahoma than A&M right now. I'd rather be Auburn than A&M right now.
Okay.
Is that crazy? I don't think that's crazy to say.
It's probably not crazy. And it's why I think that like numbers 5 through 13 or 14 they're not interchangeable, but
there's arguments for and against a lot of
absolutely.
These. So, totally.
Yeah, which is why it's fun to do the list.
Yeah, because I thought about A&M, and it's like, well, 2 of their 3 coaches are like just got replaced for different reasons. Like, you just got left. You just got like it's great you made it to the College World Series, and you almost won the national championship. You were a game away, but your head coach left you for your rival.
Yeah,
you can't say that you're not a top 5 like program in the SEC if your coach is going to leave you for your rival, right? That's a big deal.
Well, but if the program is better than yours, and you've made the College World Series twice in the last 3 years,
I just don't think people leave top 5 SEC jobs. It doesn't happen.
They might for a top 3 SEC job. If that top 3 job is going to, if their top 3 job is going to throw 50% more salary at them.
Sure. I just you just don't see it very often. I don't think it looks good. So
you don't. Okay.
Okay, I'm fine with that. So what is your list 1 through 5?
My 5. All right. Tennessee, Alabama, Texas, Georgia, Texas A&M.
Got it. Got it.
And yours is Tennessee, Alabama, Texas, Kentucky, Oklahoma.
Okay. Got it.
Want to break right now and talk about how magnificent I feel today in my Roback hoodie.
How magnificent you look today in that hoodie.
Thank you very much. It's 147,000 degrees outside, if you haven't noticed. And I'm still making the decision to wear a hoodie.
They're so comfortable.
They're that comfortable. If you want to be comfortable, no matter the activity, no matter the weather, no matter the circumstance, go to roback.com, RHOBACK. Use promo code VICE20. VICE20. You'll get 20% off your order. If you're not a hoodie person, they have polos, they have t-shirts, they have shorts, they have hat. I mean, they got it all.
Everything. Yeah.
At roback.com, they are a proud partner with us at Village Vice. So not only will you look and feel great, it'll support the show a little bit as well when you use that promo code VICE20 at roback.com.
All right, who is number 6, Brad?
My number 6 is Oklahoma.
Okay.
They won the regular season championship in baseball in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
They were not terrible. I thought they struggled more than they did in basketball. They were 8-10 in the Big 12 in that league. That's just a brutal. It's a bloodbath every week.
Yeah.
And then their football team won 10 games.
Right.
So they were 10-3 and they were 7-2, tied for second in the conference, and beat Texas head to head. So I've got Oklahoma at 6. And frankly, after putting it that way, I would consider maybe flipping them with Texas A&M and putting Oklahoma, just as you did, 5th and moving A&M to 6.
Sure. Okay. Then for 7,
I've got Kentucky 7.
Okay. Got it. We already made the case for them. I think they should be higher, but yeah, I get it.
Sure. Yeah.
I totally get it. After that, I think you're in the territory of you could put Auburn here, I think.
Yeah. I think so. I've got like LSU, Auburn, Ole Miss.
Oh, you got to put LSU ahead. Yeah. I forgot all about LSU.
Yeah. If basketball was better, they'd be top 5 in the league.
Sure.
Brian Kelly's done a great job. I don't think people give him credit for what he's done there his first couple of years.
I think he has vastly exceeded what I thought he was going to do.
Agreed. Yeah. All right. So I got LSU at 8. And then again, I've got that Ole Miss, Auburn, Florida group.
Yeah, those are interesting because Florida historically is good at all of these things.
Yeah.
And they're at a low point right now. Ole Miss is interesting because, they won a national championship in baseball a few years ago, have fallen off since then. Their basketball, they're excited about it. I'm not a believer. I think, their record overall was inflated by their, awful and weak non-conference, but
it's true.
Football is obviously, they're at one of their highest points in their program's history
right now.
But because of the other two aspects, the way they currently are trending, you can't put them, I don't think, in the top half when you combine all three of the big 3 for these programs.
Yeah. Yep. I tend to agree. So I go Auburn, Florida, Ole Miss in that 9, 10, 11 bracket.
It's wild that Florida's that low.
I know. But
no,
they shouldn't be.
They are. You did it correctly, but it's just it's wild that they got to that point.
They were 11-7 in basketball this year. They were 6th in the league in basketball.
Okay.
They were only 13-17 in baseball. They were 6th in the East. They had the best player, and they're arguably the best player in the country.
Yeah.
And they were 6th in the East. And then football, they're likely looking for a new head coach in 6 months.
Right.
South Carolina 12, Mississippi State 13.
I think I would put Mississippi State above South Carolina because of the other 2 sports, but I'm not super passionate about that one way or the other.
No, you get down to this list, I'm not fighting anybody over anything at this point. And then I've got Missouri 14, Arkansas 15, Vandy 16.
Arkansas is interesting because
they should be better.
I feel like Arkansas should be higher. I mean, you made one of the biggest offseason college basketball stories in the last 5 to 10 years. I mean, incredibly historic stuff. And they'll be better at baseball. I mean, I think that was kind of a similar thing to Auburn. Like that fan base cares about all 3 sports so much.
You know what? I'm probably, all right. So as we go along, Arkansas should be higher. They won the West. They were 20-10 in the SEC in baseball, but because they lost to a 4 seed in the regional.
Yeah, Arkansas is good. They're just not good at football, but they're good at the other 2. And another interesting one is Vanderbilt, which they underperformed, I think, what many people expect them to do in baseball. But they're usually like a minor league team,
right?
With what they put on the field. So
they just don't give you anything in football
or basketball. Yeah,
they're 4-14 and replace their coach.
Right. Yeah.
So Vanderbilt 6. Yeah, Arkansas I need to move up higher. It's crazy that Missouri, we're weighing football a little more than the others, and Missouri is going to have a preseason top 10 or 12 team, and yet they're down there at 14. That's what happens when you're dead last in baseball and win less in basketball in the league.
And even though they're ranked so high in football, I think there's a massive chunk of people that don't believe it quite yet.
Yeah.
Like Eli Drinkwitz, do it another year. And they probably would have told him that a year ago. It's like, okay, we'll still do it one more time. Do it
Yeah.
one more time. And is that entirely fair? Probably not. But I'm kind of in the boat with them. It's like I want to see if it's real. I really do.
Right. So that was wrong. Arkansas should be higher. Missouri should be 15, and Arkansas probably should be up there.
It's
maybe
crazy
around
Missouri's
10, 11.
second to last with their football, the way their football team is. But I don't hate it. I don't hate that ranking.
Well, you can't. They're at the bottom, not near the bottom, at the bottom in men's basketball and baseball.
The product they put on the I didn't watch them play baseball this year, but the product they played or they put on the floor in basketball last year was, I mean, borderline disrespectful to like the rest of the conference.
Yeah.
It was I hadn't seen an SEC team be that bad in a long time.
Yeah. All right. Tell us what we got wrong. Tell us what you agree with. Everybody's got different metrics too. That's part of it. Look, I could really nerd out on this and put together a spreadsheet and use actual records and that kind of. I'm not gonna. But if you guys want to do that, that's fine. I'd be interested to see what you come up with.
Yeah. Hey, want to shout out mybookie.ag. They've got a great sports book where you can wager on all of these things. And of course, futures are up for football, and some basketball lines are already up as well. So be sure to check that out at mybookie.ag. They also have a virtual casino. So if you want to play, live dealer blackjack or the progressive slots with progressive jackpots, be sure to check all that out at mybookie.ag. Use promo code NEXTROUND. You'll get some VIP perks when you use our code NEXTROUND. You also get some extra money to wager with. That is mybookie.ag. Use promo code NEXTROUND.
Some recruiting talk this time of year.
Yeah.
Zach. You're going to have some ebbs and some flows, some good days and some bad days. And Auburn could use a little more news like it got this past Friday.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it seems like this past weekend, everything felt so good after flipping Alvin Henderson from Penn State. But then after that, you saw Juju Lewis take the visit to Colorado, and that got a lot of national attention just because of the nature of what Colorado's doing with Deion Sanders. But everything that happened this week, like even leading into yesterday, the vibes felt off on the recruiting trail. And then you get the decommitment from Curtis Smith. You get, I don't think Auburn was ever fully in it with Arnaud, who is Juju's teammate at Carrollton. But they thought, most people thought it was going to be either Auburn or FSU. I thought it was going to be FSU, and then USC, finds their way in, and you got the visual of Juju, his teammate, throwing him the USC gloves. So, Carde Smith decommits after visiting USC. So we'll see. I mean, Hugh Freeze now has to answer. He has to answer for USC. Has won the week. We'll see what Hugh Freeze does to kind of put Auburn in a situation to continue winning like they've done for most of this offseason.
Big Cat Weekend feels like it's 3 months away. It's not, but that's kind of that's the way it feels. Sometimes recruiting you can change your emotions day by day.
Sure.
Big Cat was a huge time last year, optically and sort of realistically in the scope of how the recruiting class went. And I would expect it would be that way again. I would expect also for Auburn to get commitments, or at least one, before Big Cat Weekend, because I don't think they're going to go 4 weeks or 3 or whatever it is without some news, without some optics. The staff, I don't feel like is going to wait that long.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah. And then, there's a few names that Auburn was trending towards, like Elijah Melendez. It's a linebacker committed to Miami. There's a lot of smoke with him. And then Herbert Scroggins, talented edge defender from Savannah. He was supposed to announce, and everybody was kind of predicting that to be Auburn. He goes to Miami, apparently has a great visit, cancels that commitment that was supposed to be earlier, or I guess it would have been last week. And it sounds like he's kind of focused on Miami now. So we'll see. I mean, it's so early. It's so early in the process, but just because somebody points out that like this week wasn't good for Auburn doesn't mean you need to say get off the ledge or anything like that. It's just it wasn't a good week. Like this has not been a good week. Most of the weeks this offseason have been good for Auburn recruiting. And now I'm excited to see how this staff responds. Do they do the full court press to land Juju and go after some of these guys that they wanted? Or do they pivot? Because there's a lot of other talented players out there.
Yeah, wasn't over when Cam Coleman committed to Texas A&M. It was not over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor, and nothing is over at this point.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Sure. All right, I think that about does it for today's show.
All right, it does. Thanks, everybody, for watching, subscribing, commenting. I read them all. And remember, until next time, everyone has vices. Mine are the comments. Everyone has vices. Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.